Because to note a new life-changing history, technology must advance humanity. ITS, Institute Technology, 10 November.
Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, before we start commence the program, and here are the following webinar protocol. Each participant ID, please use your real name following with your origin of institution. All of participants are expected to mute the audio and only unmute the video during the event. We cordially invite you to take your own firm and comfort seat in your own room and please avoid the backlight. Make sure that you have a good and stable internet connection. If you have an earphone or headset, we recommend you to use it so that your voice can clearly and loudly to be heard. During the Q&A discussion session, all participants, please use the chat box to deliver the questions. Thank you for your cooperation and consideration.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining our event today, Researcher and Research Student Enlistment Program, or we usually call it by R2SEP. Before we start our agenda today, I will read out the important information to all attendants. First, please fill the attendance form on the provided link which will be shared in the Zoom chat room by our committee. The link will be closed in 15 minutes. Second, please fill the feedback form which will be shared in the Zoom chat room 15 minutes before the session ends and it will be closed after 1 hour. Third, the attendance and feedback are compulsory for these purposes. A. Attendance is mandatory for the new ITS master and doctoral students. B. Certificate of participation is eligible who have 80% attendance or minimum 7 meetings. C. It is for STEM for it, which is eligible for ITS undergraduate students. Participants who wish to ask questions during the Q&A session, please send your question at the provided link in the Zoom chat room, or alternatively, you may raise your hand during the Q&A session to ask your question directly. Welcome to the Researcher and Research Student Enlistment Program on today, Thursday, 16 June 2022. I am Novia from ITS Postgraduate Office and I will be your Master of Ceremony for this session. Before we start the session, allow me to inform you our today's agenda as follows. For the first agenda is the opening by MC, continued by the introduction to the moderator and the speaker. After that, we will get to the main agenda, the lecture session, then followed by Q&A session, and it will be ended with the conclusion and closing. I would like to remind you again to fill your attendance form shared through the provided link in the Zoom chat room, which will be closed in 15 minutes from now. Before moving to the next agenda, please allow me to elaborate about today's lecture. Today's lecture theme in R2SEP is about life strategy as a researcher, which will be delivered by our speaker, Dita Puspitasari, PhD, from Shibaura Institute of Technology, Japan, and Idewa Made Frendika Saptanaya, PhD, from ITS, who will be the one conducting our today's session as our moderator. Let me introduce you to our moderator for today. Our moderator today Idewamade Frendika Saptanaya, PhD, is graduated from ITS with Bachelor of Engineering in Urban and Regional Planning, with Master of Engineering in Urban Development Management from ITS and University de British Occidental. Currently, he is lecturer and researcher at the Department of Urban and Regional Planning Department ITS. His research interests are urban studies and affordable housing. Without further ado, let's proceed to the main agenda. To Mr. Idewamade Frendika Saptanaya, PhD, as our moderator, the time is yours.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. First of all, I would like to thank you, Novia, for your kind introduction about me, and to the committee of this program for trusting me to be the moderator for today's sessions. Ladies and gentlemen, and all beloved participants, I welcome you to join in these sessions. I think we are already in 8 sessions of the program of researchers and research student enrichment program. And today we are here to listen to this talk on life strategy as a researcher. This topic I think is very crucial and interesting to talk about, especially for you who have undergone or will decide to have a career as a researcher. As Bella Srio said, being a researcher is not just a job, it is a mindset. Why? Because when you get into research, you can never really stop. There is always something more to study, to learn, to discover, some new variable to test, to try, or curiosity to satisfy, and you will find yourself asking many times with what if between experiments. However, researchers are still human beings, are still ordinary people who are required to share their focus on other things. Problems usually arise when they have to divide their time to ensure a work-life balance. In addition to time management issues, many researchers face also problems of lack of scientific trainings, funds, relationships, self-confidence, etc. And all those problems, of course, cannot be solved in a simple way, but require a comprehensive strategy. And I'm very pleased and honored to introduce our speaker who will help us to navigate on the path of becoming a successful researcher. Our today's speaker is Ibu Dr. Dita Puspitasari. She is an Indonesian citizen currently living in Japan. Her career fully focused on education, starting as an assistant lecturer, assistant researchers, and postdoctoral fellow, until now working as an assistant professor at the Innovative Global Program at the College of Engineering at the Shibaura Institute of Technology in Japan. She got her bachelor and master degree from the Department of Physics, and then earned her PhD in the same field of study in 2018 from the Osaka University in Japan. Her main research is on organic superconductor, and she already published a great many of scientific papers that we can access it easily online. But I think there is one thing that really impressed me. She got her PhD when she was 27 years old. Therefore, in my humble opinion, she deserves to be named as one of the outstanding alumni of ITS, and is also qualified to share her knowledge, experience, and tangible tips with us, so all of us in here are able to become a brilliant researcher. Without further ado, I would like to invite Dr. Dita Puspitasari to deliver your presentations in about 60 minutes. And after that, we will continue with Q&A session dedicated especially to all participants who attend in this Zoom room. So Bu Dr. Dita Puspitasari. The floor is yours.
Thank you very much. So can I share my screen?
Of course.
Okay, thank you very much for kind introductions, the moderator. So may I start? So I have about 1 hour, but later I would like to invite my junior. So she will present as well about her experience, but later. Okay. So let me start. So thank you very much. So let me introduce myself. My name is Dita Puspitasari. I was born in Sidoarjo, Jawa Timur, Indonesia. So, and then I start become a student in ITS from 2008. And after that, I came to Japan in 2015, shortly like that. Okay. So here, although it's already mentioned, but let me show you. So I start my study in bachelor degree in physics, and then after that, the same course in master degree in physics. And at that time, my research theme is about the polymer materials, and then it was studied by using so-called magnetic resonance imaging machine. And yeah, that research was finished before I came to Japan. And then I came to Japan in 2015, and then finally I got the doctoral philosophy in physics in 2018. So my PhD thesis here, I can say in the beginning that my study in Japan is rather different with what I study in Indonesia, but it's still physics, so everything can be learned, although in a short time. So here is my scheme, how I can come to Japan. So I came to Japan by support of LPDP scholarship. Maybe some of you knows about this scholarship, and you can ask me more about this. And then using this scholarship, I enrolled Osaka University in Japan, and that's the usual PhD course in Osaka University. And soon after that, I engaged my research in research institute in Japan, so-called RIKEN. So this is Institute of Chemical and Physical Research. It's located near Tokyo. And in that research institute in RIKEN, I got so-called, I got the fellowships. I became a junior research associate in that research institute. And then mainly I work in RIKEN, not in Osaka University. But my degree, every time I need to report my research, and then I collaborate as well with my supervisor in Osaka University. And finally, for the doctoral thesis, I submitted my final research, and then got the PhD thesis, the PhD from Osaka University, more or less like that. And after that, I became a postdoctoral fellow in Shibaura Institute of Technology. This is a private university in Tokyo. This is starting right after my PhD course. Maybe why I can do that? Because in Japan, it's common that we need to apply for a postdoctoral or postgraduate position much before our graduation. So before I graduate from PhD, let's say here is 2018, I got a PhD, but starting from 2017, March 2017, I start already seeking next job, yeah, something like that. And after that, I got promoted to become assistant professor in the same university, the same Institute of Technology in Shibaura Institute of Technology, and until now. So the difference between postdoctoral fellow and assistant professor here is I got some teaching duty. Before becoming assistant professor, I don't need to teach, so only focusing on my research. But then from April, uh, 2020, basically I need to teach some subjects. So yeah. So here, maybe this is just detail. Then you can scan my profile, my research profile in this from this. Yeah, I will explain more. So okay, before talking about life as a researcher, maybe it's better. I think it's good for all of us to share my journey, how I came to Japan. So I start with the just after my master course. So after finishing master course, this is in November 2013. So that was the beginning. So I just finished my master degree. I got my master degree, and I participate in international conference. So I think that's a good opportunity also for me to know for the first time foreigners. So talk with foreigner and introducing my study in that year. That's my first experience. And then soon after that, I met my supervisor in IPS, introduced me or suggest me to join an interview from one researcher from RIKEN, from Japan. So his name is Dr. Isao Watanabe. And then he got he got a lot of collaboration between RIKEN and ITS, physics department of ITS, particularly my previous supervisor, my supervisor in ITS. And then he would like to find a student. Then he came to ITS Surabaya and then came to physics department particularly, and I joined the interview. So this is what it looks like, what was look like. So that's the very beginning. So maybe you can guess where, which is me. This one is me. And yeah, so after that, we start talking about, okay, so let's say I got accepted, I got chosen by that interview, from that interview, and we immediately talk about how to pursue my study in Japan. So I start to hunt the scholarship. So at that time, LPDP scholarship is still, if I'm not mistaken, it's still 1 year old or 2 years old at the time, and it's very prestigious and good chance. So I apply for that because we can apply to any countries, not particularly only one country, as long as the university is on the top 200. So we can apply for that. So, and then I also need to find a place to study. I mean, the host professor, my supervisor, because in RIKEN, it's not, how can I say, it is not the university. So it's only a place to do the research. So I still need to find the university. So finally, it turns out that I became an Osaka University fighter to enroll that university. So this is, Dr. Isao Watanabe kindly introduced one of his collaborators. So his name is Professor Nozue from Osaka University. So I got interviewed again, and this time is to enter the Osaka University. And it's maybe I was so lucky. So me and my friends, so Dr. Ratna Asri, actually she's now the staff, one of lecturer in ITS in physics department. So we were so lucky that we don't have to go to Japan for the interview. They came to ITS because, some occasions. So, and then I present my master thesis to them. So they don't. How can I say? They will evaluate what we have learned. So it's not necessary. Particularly, we have inline research team with our prospective supervisor. In my case, I don't have to have the same one, but maybe in your case, you need to have the same overlapping or inline research team. In my case, no. but then I need to say clearly and present clearly what I've done. And this is my slides. I will show you here. So as you can see, I say step by step what I have done in my master course in Indonesia. And then after that, I how can I say, I try to propose what I want to do in my PhD course. So it's a plan. This plan, of course, is under the consideration between Dr. Risa Watanabe and Professor Yosonazu and me. Okay? So this is I remember this is my dream. I mean, when I was this age, so I draw this line. So now I realize that it's almost 2025. So I thank you for inviting me to this session, so I can remind myself, oh, okay, my dream is like this. Okay, and then after that, in October, I got the, how can I say, I successfully enrolled Osaka University. I got accepted. However, I was failed in the LPDP scholarship hunting. So I still don't have the scholarship. So, okay, so I will give you a tips for the LPDP hunter. So this is from my experience after failure, and then I try again, and I tried 3 times for getting that scholarship. So this is the tips from me. So be original yourself, and then learn and practice English again and again and again and again and again and again. And then gain experience. So any experience that makes you special. For example, you got the job or social activity, or that's become a plus value from the, you know, in order to increase, in order to improve your CV, your curriculum vitae. And then please make unique essays. So usual one will not work. So it should be very unique. I don't know how to make a unique one, but it should be original and based on your experience. So then in the interview, don't be proud of yourself. I learned about that because I think the interviewer knows better or about all the participants. So yeah, just be calm, usual. And then in the group discussion, I'm not sure about a recent protocol in LPDP, but I believe there is still group discussion. So in the group discussion, if still any such kind of group discussion interview in LPDP, just share your knowledge wisely. Okay, so then after that, I still go to, I mean, even though I failed this one, my plan to go to Japan is still continue. So in the December, I go to Japan for the first time.
Kita
And then,
coba di perhitungannya dulu, nanti pas coba harus
I'm sorry, Dr. Dita. Can you please unmute your...
oh, sorry. Can you hear me now?
Yeah. It's clear right now.
Sorry. Yeah. It January 2015. In January 2015, I was already in Japan. I landed in Japan because my supervisor decided that you have to you need to come to Japan as a student training. Visiting researcher. As a visiting researcher, then you can learn and you can know what is the situation in Japan, what job you will do, something like that. So I was invited as a visiting researcher at that time. But then I still keep applying the LPDP scholarship from Japan. And at the same time, I had so tight schedule. Then I need to go to England. I need to go to the UK because apparently my job is required to travel to the UK for experiment, not in Japan. sometimes I do experiment in Japan, but certainly I have to go to the UK, definitely. So, okay. And then there is the story. Okay, this is December 2014 and this is January 2015. I successfully, this is my professor and my also my teachers in there, and Department of Physics, Osaka University. And then I also met seniors, and then we went to the experimental place, so-called Rutherford Appleton Laboratory in the UK. This is my first time. And then, yeah, my first time to get snow. So my first time to get snow is in the UK. And then, anyway, so that's, there is a story that I got trapped in Dubai because on the way back from London to Japan, so my flight was delayed, and then I cannot catch up the next flight. And then I was alone, but then I have to trap in the Dubai because I used the Emirates flight. So yeah, I was so scared, but yeah, that's that. So yeah, I tell you this story frankly, but I hope that you can get some point of my story. So then I come back to Japan, and then I also need to come back to Surabaya to get the interview for the LPDP scholarship. Luckily, I got to go to next stage, which is the interview. So, oh yeah, sorry, this is the picture from Dubai that I got trapped, and then I stay in a 5-star hotel provided by Emirates flight, but alone because my flight was delayed. And yeah, and then I came back to Japan to, how can I say, sorry, what's this? Oh yeah, then I come back to Japan to continue my job, but then I have to go back to Indonesia. Yeah, I got go back to Indonesia, and then in March, so it's very tight schedule because I got this, finally I got the scholarship, and then I need to do the so-called PK, persiapan keberangkatan, is a just, how can I say, the camp before preparation before studying abroad. Yeah. So, and then in March, maybe you can imagine February, March, and then April, I have to start my study in Japan as a PhD student and also junior research associate in RIKEN. Yeah, and then I start my, yeah, anyway, this is April and June in that years. And then I got PhD in March 2018. But during this period, during these 3 years, what happened is it's a completely PhD life. So this is my final defense. So this is the close defense in January 2018 at Osaka University. So my supervisors and my reviewer got interview me. So yeah, then finally I pass it, and then we celebrate. And then this is my laboratory in RIKEN. So it's so-called Advanced Mason Science Laboratory. So the head of laboratory is Professor Iwasaki. So this is my team, my lab mates. So they're from Malaysia, Japan, China, and Korea. They are so kind. And this is particularly my group. So Dr. Isawa Tanabe group. So the one that interviewed me from the first place, is the one that came to ITS and I met for the first time. And then yeah, my lab mates, luckily there are many people from Malaysia, so maybe we have same culture. I mean, by means we are Muslim. Yeah. So in our laboratory, it's Islamic culture is not so strange. Yeah. Yeah, just lucky. And yeah, so this is collaboration with other groups from Korea. So here is several awards I got during my PhD course. Luckily, I got 3 times. So This one is about the experiment. So my main experiment, as I said, so I need a large facility. One of them is located in the UK. So this facility is needed. So large accelerator facility is needed because we learned about materials using subatomic particle. So I got some awards from this school, and this one is I got awards inside RIKEN. So this is among the RIKEN students in Japan. It means in Japan. And the other one is I got in Malaysia. So this is an international conference about particularly the how can I say, material that I mean material based research. So all of the participants here studying the same material. Okay, so yeah. And this is what look like when I do my job. So this is I need, so my major is physics, and then I study materials, and then a lot of things happen when you go to very low temperature. So we are now in the room temperature, and then that's about 300 Kelvin. This is about 36 degrees Celsius, something like that. But a lot of things happen when you cool down your material down to close to 0 Kelvin. But we cannot go to 0 Kelvin. We can go to 0.3 Kelvin, almost 0 Kelvin. But in order to do that, we need to cool it down by using liquid helium. So this is like this is the tank of liquid helium, and we always need to transfer that helium. Yeah, so roughly speaking like that. So this is also. So in here is in Switzerland because it's the same facility like in the UK. So I need to go there. So, and this is the activity in Japan. Also in Japan, I don't stay only in RIKEN. Not the city name is Wako City. So I don't stay in Wako only, but I need to go to, for example, Osaka University to collaborate, maybe to do something that we cannot do in one place, but we collaborate to measure or to characterize our sample and something like that, or we go somewhere to discuss and yeah, and this is also in Hokkaido University we do presentations. And here is this is the first time actually I met my future boss. So he's one of scientists in one of a professor in Shibara Institute of Technology. And then at the time I was collaborating with him. So, but at the time I'm still PhD student, yeah. But now he is actually my boss. So yeah, and then this is the other how can I say, collaborations. So I also need to join such. Maybe you think this is like a political, but this is important for us to, how can I say, to know how everything is going. So as a students, maybe we only do what we have to do, which is study. But behind that, many big people do the collaboration, and then we can enjoy our study. And yeah, this is also the research, how it's research in the UK and Europe. And this is my friends. I got friends during my stay, for example, for the conference or for the workshop, something like that. And yeah, this is the place I visit during my business trip. So, for example, I have to go to Hokkaido University for measuring my sample, for studying something. But at the same time, I can enjoy snow, very heavy snow. And then also when I go to the UK, England, for my experiment, I go someplace. So that's very important to keep you motivated, I think. Otherwise, maybe you feel boring. You feel like very stressful with your job, with your study. But when you think that there are so many things we can enjoy, so it will be different. you will find it fun. You will find it very very good experience. So for me, from me, I think the life as a researcher is like this. So it's full of a tight schedule. Okay, this is full of tight schedule, literally, because sometimes you don't work only Monday to Friday, but also weekend, because you continuously do the experiment. Okay, sorry, my major is physics, and I am an experimentalist. Maybe some people in Japan or in the worldwide research field, they are theorists or calculator or doing some simulations, but we are the same. But my major is experimentalist. Okay, so I do experiment. So I deal with material and then I measure it. So literally, it's a physical work. So okay, so tight schedule because we need to keep tracking with our experiment. Yeah, and then of course we need to always study. So my activity is always repeating, making sample, perform the experiment, and then analyze the data, and then I also need to write a proposal because it's a very high competition. So not that like, okay, I want to measure this and then I use this. No. So we need to know the purpose. We need to make a proposal for our how can I say, for us to get the chance to do the experiment, something like that. And then we need to report it. So and then we need to write the papers. We need to write the conclusion, the result of our study systematically in the how can I say, scientific manner, and then someone will review. That's very important. Someone will review, and then how to get published in a good or how can I say, in a high impact factor journal. High impact factor journal means somehow the degree of reliability. So the degree of reviewing. So the high impact journal requires more proof, more judgment, more reviewing, something like that. So and then you can imagine the quality of the work. Yeah. So the more impact factor of the journal, the more efforts and the more money, the more time you spend. So for example, my PhD paper, so my PhD thesis, it took 5 years for me to get published. Maybe someone is not as long as me, but it's not, we cannot compare, how can I say it? Maybe very excellent students can get sooner rather than me. But for me here, I want you to understand that during that process, the money and time that our supervisors spend is somehow unlimited for us. But they keep supervising us until our results get published. So that's our responsibility as a researcher. So something like that. And teamwork. So I cannot do my research alone. So I need teamwork. I need collaborations from my team. So you can build your team, but maybe in the PhD students stage, your team is decided by your supervisor, because your supervisor has much more experience and much more friends, much more team, much more projects rather than you. So maybe you get picked and then you enter this project. So it's fine. And then you learn how to work inside the team. Yeah. So that's in the PhD level, PhD students level. And after that, so in my case, I became postdoc, and then I start to become independent, not completely. So yeah, gradually I start to make my own team, make my own, how can I say, work, small work. So that's why friends is very important. So during your PhD students, make a lot of friends. Just make a lot of friends, and then next in the future, you can call them back, right? So you can collaborate with them. So yeah, especially for experimentalists, it's almost impossible to have only one single person job. Okay, and also please actively make a presentation introducing your study. This is important because you are required to educate other people after you do the research, right? So what is the result? I mean, what have you done? So you cannot do like as you like and then that's it. No, you need to have some result that is beneficial for the society. That one of the way is to make a presentation. So you introduce your study. So please do actively as much as possible. And then need to discuss with other researchers. So it's almost impossible if you do research and then you only keep it by yourself. So you need to exchange your knowledge. You need to talk. You need to discuss, to be precise, with other researchers. Maybe one-time discussions is not enough. So my supervisor said to me, you do 5 or 10 discussion, maybe all are rubbish. Only one, only one is a good discussion. That's fine, because at least maybe we can get the good one. If you don't try, you will not get anything. So yeah, I remember that education. Maybe you do 5 discussion and then only one is a good one. So it's okay. And then, okay, respect and consider other people's opinion. Maybe that's very hard. So I'm still learning how to do that because it's not easy. I want to say this is not easy to consider other people's opinion. Maybe we think that we already correct, we already put some effort in our work, and then suddenly other people will say something from their viewpoint. And then maybe it's difficult to respect, it's difficult to consider that opinion. But that is very important because we need to have a wide eye, we need to have a, how can I say, the other viewpoint, and then we consider it, and then we can put some value into our thinking. So in order to do that, I think we need to be patient. So for example, you submit your research paper to the one journal and then you got rejected because editor thinks this is not enough, this is not good, or the reviewer thinks this is not good enough for this journal, and then rejected. And then you try again. It takes time. So it should be definitely a patience we need. So then my motto is like this. So in order to make my heart white, so I have to make my brain white. So maybe how can I say? By how to make my brain white? So by study, by reading, by keep collecting data. So yeah, whatever. So yeah, and then don't give up and keep on going. And enjoy your work and keep your motivation. So that's also important. For example, this is my just my sharing, very update from my side. So next month I need to go to Canada for a conference and experiment, and then soon after that in August I need to go to Italy for a conference. So if I think like, oh my God, this is very tight schedule, I have to prepare everything, I have to prepare this administration like this is very stressful. But I would like to enjoy that, and I would like to, I will go there, and then I will have some fun. So then plus I do my work. So that's keep me motivated. So I think just little tips. Okay, so this is my PhD thesis, and it is uploaded in this journal just to share. That's how it looks like, and then it actually took 5 years for me to write to get this published. And the other one is I choose one article that I'm lucky to join this project. So my name is here. So this is collaboration between how can I say? This is collaborations of several how can I say experimental techniques. So for my case, so for my PhD thesis, it's mainly my specialty, one experimental techniques. But here the journal is a little bit big. I mean, the higher impact factor, because we have a lot of data. Indeed, we have a lot of data, and then we collaborate, and then the result is consistent with each other, regardless the technique. So many techniques prove what and support one result. So that's a big one. So yeah, this is quite tough. And it was lucky then we got the press release. So this is the website from my university. So about this news, the news that we published something. So that, yeah, it's if it's matter to you, this is about the record of high temperature material that can show this short range order. And then after becoming after graduating from PhD, and then I become postdoc, and then I start to get funding for my own research. So that's also tough, because usually everything is provided by our supervisor, right? So we just follow, and then we get the money from our supervisor. But then there is a time that we have to make money. We have to find our budget. So I start to apply the research budget. It's not easy. Again, it takes 3 years from my postdoctoral years. So until this, I get so-called Kakenhi aid for early career scientists. This is from Japanese government. So this is, I could say, tough competitions. And I tried 3 times, and then in the 3rd year I got this, and this is started from last year. So the title is okay. I mean, I don't have to, maybe I don't need to say in detail, but I will tell you what is the point. Okay, so mainly like this. So this is a summary of my research life. So this is the you can see this is my short CV, and this is my research. So here you can see I make sample. So this is how I make sample. So there is some liquid, and then you put some electrode, and you will grow some crystal here. This is a carbon-based crystal. And apparently this crystal is superconductor. So if you don't know about superconductor, maybe you know cable, you know wire, you know conductor, but this is superconductor because we can have the wire, we can have a conductor without any heat. So this is usually if you have cable, if you flow some current, maybe you charge your phone and then you can feel some heat, right? Because of the resistance, we call it resistance in your cable. That resistance is due to you use conductor, but in the superconductor you will have no resistance. So you can technically switch on the light from here, for example, from Tokyo, if we have superconducting wire through Indonesia, so I can technically turn on the light from Indonesia to Japan if we have superconducting wire. But until now, the superconductor that can be operated in the room temperature is still challenge for us. So this is challenge. So this is the map. This is kind of map of so-called high temperature superconductor, which is still unknown how the mechanism. So then I would like to, how can I say, contribute to this research by connecting the idea completely different from the material science, but this is from the general relativity. So this is from the terrestrial object. So from something in the sky, cosmology. So my dream is to how can I say, to find the answer from the other side, from the left side, from the right side. So here is kind of dictionary for me, and then in the right side, I would like to connect the physics not only from materials but also something big in the sky, something like that, maybe shortly. And how to do that? Yeah, I keep doing the experiment in my university. So in Shibara Institute of Technology, and also I still keep collaborating with the researcher in RIKEN and also in overseas. So something like that. And then this is my laboratory in Shibara Institute of Technology. We do this kind of things. We do the organic crystal synthesis, and then we do the transport measurement. So we measure resistivity, and we have a cooling system, as I said, to cool down the material down to 0.3 Kelvin. We have, and then we can measure also the other properties. This is electrical properties, and this is magnetic properties here. And also I collaborate, still doing my specialty to use the accelerator based large facility for also measuring, for studying material, something like that. And yeah, this is the data. And also I said that now I have teaching duty, so I introduced my group. So in our department, so I belong to physics group in the so-called IGP. So IGP is Innovative Global Program. This is English-based undergraduate program in Shibora Institute of Technology. And in the physics course, we have several. This is introduction of our how can I say, what we teach. Yeah. So I need to teach physics, fluid dynamics, electromagnetism, and magnetism and magnetic material. Sorry. So yeah, this is the other teachers. So where is me? Yeah, this one. So yeah, I teach the first year and second year and third year bachelor course students. And I keep the collaboration between ITS and SIT. So we have this course. This is so-called GPBL, so Global Project-Based Learning. So it's a combination of lecturers from SIT and ITS, and also from others. And then they teach in my class, and then the students also not only from SIT but also from ITS. So we, how can I say? Yeah, we join class. Yeah. So then hopefully they can be up to date about research in worldwide, right? So in Japan, or even more, even from other countries. The idea is like that. So yeah, thank you very much. So that's all from me. Now I would like to introduce one my junior. So Miss Anna, can you show up?
Hello, Miss Tita. Thank you.
Okay.
Can you hear
please.
me?
Yeah,
okay.
I don't need to introduce, so please introduce yourself.
Okay, thank you so much. Okay. Miss Dita, please you stop your sharing. Okay, thank you. So, okay, thank you very much, everyone, for having me today. And thank you, Miss Dita, for allowing me to share my story being a PhD student and also conduct research in Shibaura Institute of Technology, Japan. So, I belong to high pressure science lab, and then I am now is a PhD student in graduate school regional environment system in Shibaura Institute of Technology. And then this is my educational background. And then I was graduated in bachelor from ITS under supervisor Dr. Darminto, and I am junior of Miss Dita. And then we are the same lab. And then luckily I continue my master in the same lab with also supervisor Dr. Darminto. Luckily I got a scholar awardee as a awardee fresh graduate scholarship by ITS. And then after 2020 I graduated from my master. I continue to pursue PhD in Shibaura Institute of Technology. And now my research is about high pressure synthesis and characterization of high entropy material with focus on the electrical and magnetic properties. And maybe it's a little bit difference with the previous one, but there is a same line when I look back. The same line is my research focus on the electric electric properties. And then why I get motivations to being a PhD student, because I would like to improve my knowledge and skill in science and research, especially for my fields, material physics. And then I would like to be a professional and independent researcher and academia. And I would like to contribute more in my field via publication. And then what is the challenge? I think the challenge is myself, because I think that I feel fear and overthinking. I like to collect some informations from my senior, and then after that I cannot filter which is right and which is which is not right, and then I think all the time. And then so uh, to to offer my fear, to face my fear and my overthinking, I always keep in my mind that wherever I choose or wherever I already decided, I have to take responsibility, my responsibility, because I think like if you live without responsibility, what's point of your life? And then I always study hard, work hard, pray hard, and I I always be gritty. And then this is how could I join high pressure science lab. So it's come from the when Miss Dita give a seminar in our department. She introduced her research, and then I joined this seminar. And then I remembered that I applied for research exchange student in Shibaura Institute of Technology. Luckily, my Miss Dita was know know well about her, and then Miss Dita introduced me to my supervisor, and then luckily I got a scholarship, and then I did a research exchange student in July 2018 at in SIT. And then after 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 completely doing research student exchange in 2018, I continue my master in ITS. And then in my last semester, in the third semester of my master, I got an email from my supervisor, Ayako Yamamoto. She is this one, Ayako Yamamoto, as my supervisor. She sent me email and offered me to join in her lab, and then and apply for PhD application. So at the time, in the third semester, I decided to completely my master in my third semester, and I also at the same time I apply for PhD courses. And then luckily again I got a scholarship for the continuing PhD, and I successfully completely my master in for the 3 semester only. And then but officially I joined in Shibaura high pressure science lab in the March 2020, but unfortunately because of due to coronavirus outbreak, I have to postpone until November 2020. So I officially as a student in March 2020, but I came to Japan in November 2020. And then this is also a good change for me to introduce my lab, high pressure science lab. And then my research is about high pressure. So therefore I use these high pressure machines to synthesize my material, and we can apply for high pressure from 2 until 4 gigapascal. And then we can also apply the heating treatment up to 100,000 degrees Celsius. So this is a very dangerous experiment, and we need to be careful for that. And then the synthesis, I characterize the structural with using X-ray diffraction, and then SEM in order to analyze the morphology. And then we also use squid in order to analyze the magnetic properties. And then we also use cryostat with using a 4-point probe method in order to measure the electrical resistivity. And this is the squid that Ms. Dita already explained, that we can measure until 2 Kelvin, and then we apply magnetic up to 5 Tesla. And then, so what is my activities as a PhD student here? So I study and enjoy experiment, and then my research is about high pressure synthesis and characterizations of high entropy metal disulfide with pyrite structure. And then I also, after got a result, I as Ms. Dita said, that we need to share our knowledge, our result to the other, and then we can exchange. And then I joined conference, and luckily I got a Best Poster Award on Asians Conference High Pressure Research at the 10 in South Korea, November 2021. And then currently my work, I already submit for the journal, and then it was accepted in this June 2022 on JPSJ, Journal Physical Society, Japan Physical Society Journal, sorry. And then, my last activities as a PhD student, I also contribute for our lab event. And then this is also, we make a collaborations with Indonesian senior high school students. And then we introduce our lab, and then we do simply experiment that related with the pressure around us. So thank you so much.
Actually, it's my high
That's
school.
all.
My high school.
Yeah. yeah, this is your school. Yeah,
Also,
thank you
your
so much.
high school.
Yeah,
I mean our high school.
Yeah, this is our high school.
Yeah, our high school.
Yeah, that's all. Thank you so much.
Thank you. So, thank you. Thank you, Anna.
Yeah, thank you, Miss Dita.
So, maybe we go back to the moderator, please.
Okay, thank you so much, Bu Dita, and also Bu Anna, for delivering to us such remarkably outstanding and inspiring presentations, especially for the insight and very tangible and useful tips that you have given to us today.
My pleasure.
I have noted that there were many tips and tricks for those who want to continue their study in doctoral program and also to get the scholarships. So please, for all participants, if you want to continue your study, especially in PhD program, and also have the same topics with Bu Dita or Bu Ana, please feel free, I think, to contact Bu Dita or Bu Ana by email.
Yes, sure. I'll share my email address in the chat.
Well, thank you very much. Thank you very much, Bu. And I'm pretty sure all of us have learned a lot from you and hopefully are be able to apply them in real life. Okay, we move to next agenda, Budita. We will open the Q&A sessions and let me check if is there any question asked by the participants. Oh yeah, we already have 3 questions from the participants. For the first questions comes from Eeb Saiful Maftu. The question says, "Hi Bu, it's very interesting know your life. I have questions between life as a researcher and life as a professional engineer. Can they live in the same time?"
Okay, thank you for the question. Engineer is in Japan. Engineer, for example, you apply for PhD, and then that's the PhD. Sometimes you get PhD in physics or PhD in engineer. But in Japan, engineer doesn't mean always to become a technician. Okay. So engineer means, for example, you go for the graduate school for engineering, and then that's the same PhD course. And then you are belonging to department of, for example, applied physics, and then you get the PhD in engineer. But for me, I belong to department of physics, and then I get PhD in science. But we are completely the same in the same field, and then we do the same things. I mean, do research, and then join the community, the Japanese Physical Society, same community. So in that sense, it's no difference. But if you are going to be a technician, so it may be different. So you don't have to do research. You maybe concentrate on one specialty. Maybe you are, how can I say? Maybe you are your specialist in one engineering machine or something. So yeah, it's a little bit different, but basically almost the same.
Okay, so basically almost the same. I think it's clear, Gita. So we move to the second questions from Sulaiman Triajo. Dr. Dita, you have passed many interviews, which are the hardest step of a test for me, who cannot explain and promote myself well. Could you give us, tips how to explain and promote ourselves if we cannot verbally explain ourselves or didn't have any wow achievement like you?
Oh, maybe Anna, you can say something. I will add. You have some experience?
Yeah, please, Bu Anna.
Anna, I will ask after you. How is your experience to pass through an interview?
I think I practice more, and then ask experienced people first, and then as I said, I like to collect informations. So of course I will ask my senior who already have a lot of experience, and then I will practice more. That's all. That's my experience. I know.
Okay, so for me, maybe it looks like that I can promote myself. It seems like, but can I explain my experience? So during my PhD course, so I need to as I said, present my research, and in that case, it's also a process of promote myself, right? Promote my research, yeah. So of course we have an achievement first, and then we need to promote it. But I remember my first time presentation in the Japanese Physical Society meeting. I make a script of my presentation. So every little sentence that I'm going to explain, I write. So I make a script. Literally, I just remember. It's a, how can I say? Only text. Scripted. Scripted. I make a script. One night, 2 nights, or many days. I need to how can I say, prepare for it. So I need to prepare with my supervisor, and after that, exercise, and then I write down. That's my first time, and then finally now maybe I don't need such kind of how can I say, preparations. Okay.
Thank you, Budita. I noted that there are 2 points, yeah, from Bu and Budita. The first is we have to practice a lot, yeah, and then we have to prepare the things that we have to before we promote ourselves.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. And then the third question comes from Muhammad Aziz Fakhrozi. The question is, since you are in Riken's environment, has any of your research involved the Fugaku supercomputer?
Yeah. Yes. Actually, Fugaku supercomputer is the fastest one now. And before, when I was PhD student, Fugaku is not yet launched. Then it's so-called Hokusai. So it's the how can I say, the smaller version, and I use that. So actually, my PhD thesis is using Hokusai supercomputer.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I didn't understand what is Fugaku.
Oh, yeah, that's a supercomputer. So the computer that can run very fast, like 1,000 times. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Supercomputer. Yeah.
Is that exist in Indonesia?
No, it's in Japan, and then you need to have some collaboration to use it. Of course, you can access, but there should be some collaboration based.
So that is uniquely used in Japan.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. Yeah. And then one more from Agus Sugiono. The question is, can the skills of Budita and Bu Ana be applied when they return to Indonesia? Yes, please. That is
I don't see why not.
Why not?
Why not? Yeah, it can be, I think.
Yeah. And from Bu Ana, maybe? Is it possible to apply what you have learned in Japan to Indonesia?
I think it's possible.
It's possible.
Yeah, it's possible. And then, yeah, be flexible, I think. We need to be flexible with the everything conditions if we would like to survive.
Okay. I think that makes me remember a good quote to answer the questions. Nothing is impossible, but sorry, nothing is easy, but everything is possible.
Yes, that's right.
Right. Okay, thank you. We would love to hear your perspective for all the participants because we have no other questions. So I think I would like to ask you. I think I have one pointless question, Budita and Bu Ana. The question is, what should we prepare before deciding to become a researcher, mentally and physically? And what are the advantages and disadvantages of being a researcher? Yes, please. Or please, I would like add the questions. Can the research professions make us live prosperously?
Prosperously? Excuse me, what's prosperously?
Prosperously, sejahtera.
Prosperously. Okay. So I will answer. So
Yeah.
answer.
Yes, yeah.
So the first question is, what should we prepare before deciding to be a researcher?
Yeah.
Okay, so you have to know how hard it is. You have to think what is the 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 bad, how can I say, the worst scenario. And then if you know that, and then you say, okay, I can do this, so that just start. So that's one way to think about it. Or second way is nothing. You don't have to think about it. As long as you like it, just do. So there are two ways, I think. I did two-way things. So one is you think considerately, thoughtfully, and then you prepare and you try to think what is the worst scenario, and then until you know it, and then you ask yourself again, oh, I can, so that you have to start. But the other one is just because you like it, so just start. So because so that's, and then the other question is what is second question?
What are the advantages and
disadvantages?
Yeah.
Okay. For me, clearly, I said in the slide, probably advantage is traveling, so I can do my hobby plus my work. Disadvantage is maybe our time is a little bit limited. The tight schedule, as I said, I wrote down in the beginning, tight schedule. That's the worst, because sometimes you just want to enjoy your relaxing time, but you cannot. So because your experiment is waiting, and then it's needed to be like this. So no rest, but you have to do. Sometimes we can. Sometimes we not sometimes. Oftenly we face like that. And then can the researcher life make our life prosperously? It depends. I mean, well, you are young, so you need to catch the permanent job, for example. So in that case, you will be you can get prosperity. But at some in some case, can you hear? Sorry, can you hear me? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So there is a case that researcher cannot survive, and then they spin out and choose the other way. In the other way means like company or something. It happens. It can happen. So in that case, it looks like not prosperously. However, basically it's prosperously, but compared to the other job, the researcher job is harder. So this is true. So it's common even in Japan. For example, banker and researcher, maybe they will have the same money, if they have same money, but the amount of effort, definitely researcher will do more. So it's up to you.
Yeah, it's okay. Thank you. Maybe Bu Ana would like to add Budita's response or answer.
Actually, I am as a student, so I don't know what is the now I know the information from Miss Dita, what is the prosperity and then everything. But I think if what is the worst thing happen in the lab, I think in my case, because I with kind of the high risk experiment, so we need to clearly understand about the research first, and then after that, take responsibility for everything that you already made your decisions. That's my mom said to me.
Yeah. I think
Thank
good
you.
point, Bu Ana.
Yeah.
I saw that there are two questions from the chat box. The first questions, it is an adding to previous question from Pak Doan Panggaribuan. For Budita and Bu Ana, have you been approached by some company or government about applying your knowledge back to Indonesia? Is there any approach already? Maybe Pak Doan would like to propose you the job.
Thank you. So I remember one time I got some approach from one university. However, at that time I already got the job in Japan. So yeah. Then I'm currently in the tenure track. So it's on the track of becoming assistant professor with the permanent position. So I'm still in the track. So it's in contract. So yeah, so we'll see. Wish me luck. And okay, I would like to add about the prosperity as well. This is also about the research. So if I become a researcher, but then I don't keen to find a research budget, it's nothing. So you cannot do your research. So it means you're not prosper. Maybe you can get the salary from your from your university, someone that employ you, but you have to do research, and then in that case you need some budget, you need some research budget to do your research. If you don't apply any budget, so it means not prosper at all.
Okay, but I have one question. What is your strategy to ensure sustainable research funding, especially for your personal research target?
Sorry, excuse me one more time.
What is your strategy to ensure sustainable research funding, especially for your personal research?
Yeah. So it's better to start not how can I say, continuously search the budget. I mean, don't wait until the budget's finished and then you apply. So no, you continue keep finding money. Yeah, maybe that's and also do the many collaboration as much as you can. So that's help. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Budita. And then there is one question from Pak Cipta Pratama. I don't know if this has been asked before. I think it's okay. But is there a strong pressure for good result in the result field?
Okay.
How do you cope with that pressure?
Okay, so if I would like to answer, maybe it's not finished within 5 minutes because it's my whole life experience. Not whole life, I mean whole PhD research, because all of the years I've been pressured to publish in a good journal. So how can you can imagine? So you have every day, but it's not easy. And then you deal with many people, so you need to satisfy your collaborators, your team member first, and it's already not easy, right? So you need to be patient to discuss with them one by one until everyone is in the same research interest. I mean, because we need to declare there is no conflict of interest when we submit our result, right? So and then the question is, how do you cope? Okay, be patient. It's like my motto. If you want, you need to consider other people, and then managing expectations. And if you my motto is, if I want to make my so in order to consider many viewpoints, I need to make a space in my heart wide as possible. But how to do that is to make my brain wide. So that's my motto.
Okay. Okay, Budita, I have just received one interesting question from Pak Andre Saputra. I think he comes from the same field of study. He comes from the physics. I think, yeah. Thank you for your presentations, Budita. My question is, in my point of view as a theoretical physics student,
okay.
the available, the available opportunities for experimentalists is more widely open than theorists to collaborate with other abroad institutions. especially in the context of theoretical physics in Indonesia. What is your opinion about this issue?
Okay, I agree. Even in Japan, the very high competitions is more in the theoretical field rather than experiment, because theorists can do their work by their own. So there are many others theories. Yeah, so that's become high competitions. And in Indonesia, I think the condition of theoretical physics in Indonesia is much better than 5 years ago. So I can tell you, in BRIN now, in the BRIN is what's that, the new name of LIPI? There are 3 of my senpai there. So you can imagine, I already knew 3 persons working in BRIN as a theoretical physicist. So it's more the challenge more, how can I say it? The opportunity is wider, much higher. Don't worry.
Okay, thank you. Unfortunately, we cannot discuss directly with Pak Andre. I think if there is an opportunity, I think it's very interesting to discuss directly with Budita. I saw there is no other questions from the participants, and maybe I would like to add one questions more for Budita or Bu Ana. I think communication skills are one of the capitals for successfully working in a research team. So what is your strategy to convince your senior researchers or maybe supervisor to accommodate or to always accommodate or accept your idea?
Wow. Anna, you want to say first? Please.
Sorry, what is the questions? Could you please repeat?
How to convince?
Convince. Convince. Actually, I still learn how to convince well, because I'm still a PhD student, not PhD already. So maybe Miss Gita
you need to convince many people.
Yeah. But I think I'm still learning now.
Yeah.
So maybe you will answer well.
Okay. Okay. So I answer. Believe it or not, even yesterday I got complaint. I get against from my boss until now. So I'm not sure how to answer, but I keep going. I mean, I just my life is still going. I mean, I keep. I wake up and then I start my work today, and then today I also do the other discussions, and then I get some knowledge from other people. So okay, my life is not so bad at all. So I just keep going.
Okay, so the tip
Yeah, it's literally true. Yeah, so
yeah.
I mean, you asked me how to convince. Even I got complaint. Because as long as we learn, as long as we study, as long as we discuss, there will always be some how can I say, debate, right? So that's the way of, that's the learning process.
Yeah, maybe you should watch Don't Look Up, the film of Don't Look Up. This is how can we imagine the difficult it is, how to convince with super rocket science informations. That is very difficult for us to convince other people. I think the last questions before we stop or we close the discussion.
Yes.
What is your strategy so that you can quickly adapt to a new work environment and collaborate with researchers from other countries who have different backgrounds, be it language, culture, personality, and so on?
I see. Maybe some people said my how can I say, my culture support me. I mean, I come from Jawa Timur. I come from Surabaya. Sidoarjo. So maybe it tends to be bonek. So maybe it's a intrinsic component, but I think adaptations can be not so difficult as long as you have passion.
Yeah. Okay. Because I remember the quote from Buya Hamka that I think it is in Indonesian's culture pictures that he said that orang Indonesia bisa sama-sama bekerja tapi belum tentu bisa bekerja sama.
Wow.
So I think that's all. And thank you very much
Thank you
for
very much.
Bu Ana, for all the answer that you have given to all question from the participants.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you very much. And I think I will not give a conclusion for this session, but I will just highlight the important points that I noted and have been conveyed by Budita and Bu Ana, that in principle, we as researchers must be open-minded. This means that you must be willing to continue to learn or be a lifelong learner, open to new things, respect other people's perspective, and be able to work in a team. This last point reminds me also, but I think I already mentioned before. And last but not least, we must be confident, patient, and be able to manage our time as well as possible. So Budita, we look forward to having you again in our next session. Your presence here definitely enrich this program. And for this, we remain grateful. Thank you once again for Budita, Bu Dr. Dita, Bu Ana. I hope all your dreams will come true. And for all participants, thank you for your presence and participations. I'm sorry if I cannot speak English very well because I usually speak French language for my foreign language.
Bonjour.
So, bonjour. Ah, vous parlez bien français, Budita.
No.
Okay, thank you very much, Budita. Good to see you, Bu Ana, Budita. And I give back to Bu Novia for closing ceremony. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for Budita for the inspiring lecture today. And thank you, Bu Ana, for sharing your amazing experience. Thank you for Pak Frendika for conducting this amazing session. Please give applause for our inspiring speaker and amazing moderator by using Zoom action feature for today's empowering session. As a token of appreciation, I would like to present a certificate for our honorable speaker and moderator.
Thank you.
So this is the certificate for Budita as our gratitude for today's session. Thank you very much for your availability today in providing the lecture session on life strategy as a researcher. For the next certificate will be presented for Pak Frendika for being our moderator today. Before we part, I would like to thank all participants who took part in the entire series of R2SEP events. We hope this event can be useful for your future research. Before we end today's session, we would like to invite you all participants along with the speaker and moderator to take a group photo. To all participants, please turn on your camera and we will stop sharing now. I will make the countdown. Be ready, put your best smile, and I will take the picture. Cheer up and keep smiling. Now that we have finished the group photo, I would like to remind all participants to fill the feedback form provided in the Zoom chat. The participant who will get sent for it is the participant who comes on time during this event until the end, and also fill the feedback form. Finally, we have reached the end of today's R2SEP, and we sincerely apologize for any inconvenience during the session from me as the Master of Ceremony and the committee. Once again, thank you everyone for joining this session. Thank you the speaker and the moderator for the inspiring session. Good evening and
Good
stay
evening,
safe and
everyone. Thank you,
healthy. Bye
Budita.
bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Bye.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, Novia, and all participants. Thank you very much.
Oh. Bye-bye. Makasih, Ana. Makasih ya. Thank you ya.
Ya, sama-sama.
Thank you, Bu
Dadah.
Dita, Bu Ana, Pak Frendika.
Terima
For
kasih,
the
Pak
other participant, please can you wait for a while? We will share the feedback form.
Okay. Oh, so can I leave?
Oh yeah, sure.
Okay,
Thank you, Bu
bye.
Dita. Bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you so much.
Terima kasih semua yang ternuwun. Assalamualaikum.
Waalaikumsalam, Bu. We will stay for a few minutes so you can fill in the feedback form. And then you may leave. Thank you for all the participants.